Good morning, kids. Welcome to the Jiminy Show, and today's video is actually kind of interesting. It's one that I didn't realize I had enough stuff to make, and that is, what is the difference between ports, comps, and different designs of both? Very simply, ports and comps do a similar thing in that they help redirect exhaust gases or spent gases from the shell as the gun is fired to help mitigate your recoil. So when you shoot your gun, when you shoot your gun, if it has no ports or comps, it could recoil more than a gun that has comps or ports. They are not interchangeable terms. If you have ports, you have ports. If you have a compensator, you have a compensator. Completely different things, and I have different examples of both types, which is why I thought today's video would be interesting. Before we get into that, make sure that you're subscribed, you're liking, you're becoming a member. Every 100 members we do giveaways. You know how it goes. Just, it's YouTube. We need to grow this whole two-way community. So like me, follow everybody, follow your neighbor's dog. I was gonna say kid, but that's just creepy. Don't do that. Let's dive into this. First we have, actually let's start with a standard ported gun. We'll start with the Fusion Firearms XF Pro. If you've never seen this gun, I have a video on it. This thing is a really, really cool gun. Chambered in 9mm. People say it's an all-metal Glock. It's not true. That shares 4 components with the Glock, one of which is the barrel. So that's pretty interesting. But this gun is ported. You see those 4 ports in the top of the gun? They are way set back. They're just ahead of the chamber. In fact, when this thing is chambering around, there is maybe 3/4 of an inch before you reach the first port. Also, the ports are staggered in terms of size to match the porting or the lightning cut on the slide itself. But when this gun fires, this thing throws a ton of rearward gases and potentially debris. So you got to keep that shiz in mind as you're firing them. But as you can see, yes, this has 4 ports on it. So when you fire it, you get a blast out of the top, and it drives down the front of the gun surprisingly well. This gun is very easy to control, even though it is a technically compact frame. It's a mid-size gun, but I call it a compact. But yes, this gun is super easy to control when you're at the range. So at speed, the muzzle lift is not nearly as strong as it is with, say, this gun. This is a Chris Sphinx. It does not have ports or a comp, so in 9mm being an all-metal gun, these are roughly the same size. This gun will recoil more than this gun because of the fact that it is not redirecting any energy straight up. What is on that front sight? Did you lick my gun? I have a dog. But yeah, this gun is an amazing shooting gun. This gun definitely shoots flatter. But that is a port. This is an example of a compensator. However, this one is a bushing mounted compensator. This is a 1911 with a Punisher style front bushing compensator. It's part of the slide, not part of the barrel. The barrel has nothing to do with the compensator on this gun. Some people will say this is not effective at all. Those people are wrong. The way that you can tell whether or not something is effective is to watch the slow motion video when these things are being fired. I keep looking over here because normally the phone is flipped the other way. But when a handgun is fired, the round will leave the end of this barrel and leave this compensator well before this gun is cycling. So you will see the bullet stuff go up, and then the gun will start to cycle. So this is actually effective over a gun without a compensator on it. So a standard 1911 with no compensator would have more recoil. This is in 45 HCP. Change your mags. It's a $300 gun, but this mag will help it feel more like a $700, $800, $900 gun with a little bit of tuning. But when you fire a gun like this, you are getting less effective recoil management and mitigation versus a gun like this, because these are cut into the barrel, so it's direct pressure immediately that is driving down the gun. This one does require the round to exit the end of the gun before sending the gases up, but it is still effective. Now let's look at a different version of both of those systems. We'll start with another ported gun. And a little bit of an aside, these folks are coming on as a sponsor of the channel, but this is my Daria Arms DY9. This is a Gen 4, Gen 5 compatible Glock replacement. I'm going to call it a replacement, especially since Glock is now killing off a lot of their Gen 4s and their Gen 3s because California has decided they don't like Glock anymore. But this gun is friggin' amazing. It's a super good value. A standard version of this gun is about 300 bucks. My gun is modified from standard. I don't know where my regular slide is actually, but I have a standard slide that has actually got lightning cuts that came with this gun. And then the folks over at Darius sent me their Island Port barrel. What an Island Port barrel is literally what it looks like. The ports are cut into the barrel, and then the barrel is cut to fit within the slide. What this means is the ports don't need to vent through the slide. It looks cool. The front sight is attached to the barrel. Kind of looks like a old Beretta. It is a removable front sight, so you could change it out if you want to. You will see, and we'll get over this in a second, but you will see how it's cut in there to be precision fit. This gun has 600 rounds through it, and it runs phenomenally. This gun has excellent recoil mitigation as well. When you're at the range and you're shooting this gun, you notice a definitive dip from the recoil, from the gases venting straight up. Not dip, but return to zero. That was the phrase. Excuse me. I've put this optic on it since I took it to the range, so we'll see how it does next time I go to the range with it. This is a Glock compatible gun, so that is really cool, convenient, good pricing, and they have more stuff coming, so keep that in mind. We'll be checking out stuff from them as well as Aimwin, because I look at a lot of optics. That's why a lot of my guns are optics cut. Sorry, a little bit of self-promotion. So that is the Island Port. The next thing I'm going to show you is something that is actually on very expensive guns, but have trickled their way down to more reasonable price guns. And that is a barrel compensator, a barrel mounted compensator. This is my Girsan Match X. It looks very much like a Staccato XC, especially since I redid the finish on this gun. But this gun has a compensator that is part of the barrel. This whole island piece is the barrel. I mean, obviously there's no rifling in that end where that giant comp is, but this gun is heavily modified, has a very light slide and a 1.9 pound trigger, all Wilson Combat internals, and fires amazing. But this makes this gun way more shootable than you would think. I have the Match X. Girsan sent this to me before I modified it. And I have the Influencer X, which is a non-comped version of this gun. I've run the non-comped version of the gun top on this gun, and the recoil is much more noticeable between those two. And because it's not, again, a barrel mount or a bushing mounted one, this gun doesn't rely on any sort of extra power from a round to cycle it. Some guns with compensators, I don't have my STI available to me right now. Otherwise, I'll show you. That has a 6 1/4 inch true bore barrel with a 4-port comp. That gun requires a lot of extra pressure to run. This gun will run 115 grain all day long and be happy with it. And that port is huge, and it really comp port, same thing. But it definitely makes a big difference when this gun is running. This is one of my favorite guns that I've ever owned and built, and Girsan sent it to me. I love them for that. You should definitely check them out. It's got custom stippling. My buddy Greg down at Liberty Arms did all that for me. So now comes the question, what's better? And that's a very complicated question, because in my opinion, the gun matters almost as much as the porting. So this gun, with all of its modifications, you can see how easy it is to rack, with all of its modifications and that compensated barrel, is a phenomenal shooter. Would porting it have made that feel any different? I don't think so. I think it would still feel amazing. This is probably one of the flattest polymer framed ported guns I own, and this is by far my flattest shooting striker fired ported gun, because it's a metal frame, metal slide, and it's ported. This gun weighs the same as this gun because this gun has an aluminum frame on it. It becomes personal preference. I will tell you that when you have a 4-port comp like this, you get a lot more crap blowing back into your face than you do if you have a comp at the end of the gun. So this style gun will definitely put more stuff up in the air, but it also means that you're getting a lot of effective downforce out of the item as well. So what the hell is this optic? I don't even remember what company sent me this. I do a lot of testing on optics. Companies reach out to me. They're like, hey, do you want to check it out? And I'll be like, yeah. And sometimes I make a video on them. Sometimes I don't. This one I did not make a video on. It's kind of like a Viper or an RMR clone. And I don't even remember who makes it because it doesn't have a name on it. It's got a nice dot though. Anyways, if you want to have a video on red dots and things like that, let me know. Also, I still have to make my favorite striker fired gun video. It's hard for me to do because I'm not a big fan of striker fired guns. But yeah, if you like this, you like the video, you like this stuff, come back for another video. Hit the like, comment, subscribe. That's English. The like, comments, and subscribes down below. Come back for the next video. And as always, I'll talk to you later.